All right, you guys, we're in our last project here for this set of graphic image manipulation, if you will, and we're going to do a little bit of a detailed sprite here. So I've already created my folder, and I'm going to find a picture of a space shuttle, and I'm going to turn that into a sprite. So again, this is a new folder. You guys know how to make folders. I've got my background, I've got my moon sprite that I just created, and now I created a new one called Space Shuttle. Only Space Shuttle files are going in here, you guys. Please do not put all sorts of other things in there. I will be looking at your file management. I'm going to open this up, and you guys have seen these folders before. I had to make these new ones. Not too difficult. You guys know what goes in each one of those, but please take a second, pause my video, take a look at this, get your files squared away. I'm going to go into my raw, and I found this space shuttle. And was it called Space Shuttle when I got off the internet? No, it was not. But I went in and I renamed that. You guys know what to do. If not, take a look at my previous tutorial. I'm going to take a look at its its information. It is a JPEG. That's what I need. Here's its file size. I also looked at its dimensions. Again, if you do not have dimensions there, for example, if it's turned off, just kind of go up here and choose your dimensions to turn those on. It's a good size file, and that's what I'm looking for. Don't find a project that's in really small file format or dimensions and resolution. You want to find a good size file, and so this one will be suffice. If you have questions about that, please ask before you start working too much. I'm going to open this up and take a look at it. Here's my space shuttle. That's what I'm going to be editing. There's a lot going on there, so we're going to get going right away. So I'm going to drag over my Gimp. I'm going to go ahead and drag in my space shuttle raw image, and I am right away going to do a file. Save as, and I'm going to go along my breadcrumbs here and go to my sprite. I'm going to put this in my Gimp. I've got it saved as Space Shuttle. It's an XCF file for a Gimp. Perfect. If I look back then in my actual file format, file location, if you will, I have it right there. Perfect. I'm just going to resize this a little bit. I've already opened up my tools. Again, if you're not sure how to open up your tools, look back at the previous tutorial on our round sprite. I show you that we need our toolbox and our tool options open. With that said, you guys, right away, I'm going to go ahead and crop out things that I don't need. We've done this before. I'm just going to kind of move this around a little bit. And I don't have to be too precise here. I'm going to be a little bit more precise later, but not too precise off the beginning. And there we go. I'm going to do a Control S on my keyboard to save what I've done so far. And now I'm going to go ahead and choose our Select by Color tool. And I'm going to go ahead and click in this area here, and I'm going to hold my Shift key down, and I'm going to try my best. Now, as you see, if I clicked on this color, it came in, and it's got my windshield here. It's coming down into my fuel cells and stuff. I don't want that. I'm going to do a Control Z to undo that. So this is about as much as I'm going to be able to get out of here, and I'm going to press my Delete key. And right away, you guys, with this still selected, go to your colors and change that to alpha. And I'm going to choose OK. And as you can see, it didn't get any of my rocket ship. It just got this location here. Please do that. Control S. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off my selection. Select None. And now I'm going to blow this up a little bit, because what I need to do is I need to get between these rocket boosters here. This is where preciseness comes into play. I'm going to grab my eraser. All right. And again, I'm going to change that from that blur to a more solid. That's my preference. And now I'm taking out 20 pixels. I'm going to increase this a little bit more. And as you can see, 20 pixels is a little too big. I'm just going to scroll down, try 14, see where I'm at there. 14 is too big. So maybe down to 10. Let's see where that's at. And 10 looks like it could be pretty good. So I'm going to drag, and I'm going to go right down between these two and get rid of this. So you guys, I'm going to be working on, and I went a little bit too far, my Control Z. So I went into it a little bit. This is trial and error, but you guys are going to get more precise. If you really want to get into things, scroll up a little bit. As you can see, now I can really get in. Even that 10 was maybe too much. So this is going to be you. Again, you're working for a company. All right, I know you're in school, you guys, and you're only students, but think of you as a company. You can be working on these images for web development this way, for your website that you're going to make someday for a company. Maybe you're going to go into, again, application design, maybe video game design. You're going to be utilizing a lot of these similar tools in it, and you're just going to work around, and you're going to maybe even come down here to the boosters, and you might want to get into this small location right there. I'm blowing it up. You can see those pixels starting to come into play now. Maybe I want to get around here and get here. All right, you can start small and then you can increase it. I want to get around the, I can see my rocket booster right there. All right, so you guys are going to be utilizing your different sizes, and there may be times where you might want to get into even smaller locations. Again, don't be afraid to adjust your pin size when you're all said and done and you went around the edges. Now come back and increase that so where you can take out more pixels and look at it. All right, so I'm just going to work on this, you guys, and come back when I'm all done and show you my final product. But again, all I'm doing is resizing my pins. I change this. You can play around with these different styles here and go from there. So cool. We'll take a look at it here in just a little bit. All right, you guys. So here is my final edited, my detailed sprite, and now I want to take a look at it. All right, because hey, we have human eyes that we may not be able to see everything so well. So again, I'm going to do my file export, and I'm just going to put this on my desktop, you guys, just to take a look at it again, to see if I needed to do any more editing. This does need to be a PNG. We are bringing in our alpha channel, one more byte of data for that transparency, and I'm going to choose export, and it's going to make sure that I turn this off right there, save color values for from transparent pixels, and choose export. So now it's exporting, it's going to my desktop. It took a little bit more time, there's a little bit more involved there. So let me go ahead and open this up, and boom, there it is. As you can see, I've missed a pixel here, here. There's a few pixels that I missed, all right, and that's good, all right, that I can see that. And if I wanted to blow this up here to see, and I even missed some pixels up here, so I'm going to go back and re-edit that. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this. And actually, you know what? I think I'm going to have that open to where I can bring this down and throw this on the side here to where I can kind of see where I need to go. And there is that pixel right there. I'm going to get rid of you. All right, I got rid of that one. I need to get rid of this one. So it's nice to have those open to where I can kind of see a little bit where I need to get rid of some of these pixels. All right, get rid of that one, and it looks like I have one over here somewhere. I think that's it right there. So you may not be able to see this too well on my recording, but I can definitely see that. Oh, going to a different picture, and I think there was some up here, and yes, there it is. So actually what I want to do is get to my tools right here, and I want to increase this guy right there so I can get a bunch more pixels at one time, because I know it's hard to see over here. Let me see if I can blow this up. Well, it's kind of hard for me right now. Why are you not doing this? Right there. That's what I need to get to. So let's go ahead and try to get that. I think I see it right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to close that, and I'm going to do again a file export to space shuttle. Now I can do that because all it's doing is overwriting this one right here. So I'm going to click that. You can see it overwriting it. Let me go and open this up now and take a look. And it looks like I've got those pixels taken out of there. So that's a good thing. So you will be doing this, you guys. You'll be taking a look and seeing if you need to take out any more pixels. So you may have to do that 2 or 3 or 4 times. All right, so now that that's done, you guys, what I want to do is crop this one more time. I've got some pixels down here I don't need. So I'm going to grab my cropping tool, and I'm going to just drag here. And then I'm going to get a little bit more precise using my shift key, and I'm going to drag that right to the bottom of that tail rudder there, and I can drag this over here and take a look at that. I don't think I can get anything there. Cool, right to the tip of my fuel cell there. And now I'm coming over to this edge, and I probably need to go down to here, move some of my tools, get out of the way there, guy, and drag this out, make sure there, right to the tip of that. Again, we're getting rid of unused pixels that we don't need, because that increases our file size. I'm going to do a Control S. Now, we've got this done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to change this from image, and I'm going to scale it. And I'm going to start high first. So I'm going to go 150, press my enter key to keep that proportional, and choose scale. It's bringing it down to that size. All right, I'm only 33% of the original size, so if I brought that up to 100%, that's about the size of it. So I'm going to do a file, Export as this time. Don't choose this option. It's going to go to your desktop. Export as. And now, you guys, I'm going to go to my see-through folder. I'm going to go to my Space Shuttle Sprite, and I'm going to go to my final edit compressed for app. So make sure you look at your breadcrumbs. Put only your Space Shuttle data there. I'm going to rename this just like we did for our last round sprite to 150 pics, so I know what's going on, and you do as well when you go to choose the right file you want for your application and choose export. Now I'm going to go to my image again, and I'm going to scale this down to 100 this time and press my enter key, choose scale, and now I'm going to do a file, export as. And I'm just going to change that 150 to 100 and choose export. And I bet you sometimes you got to click that a couple times. Make sure that that's off. Double check that. And there we go. Last but not least, I'm going to go to my image, scale image. I'm going to bring it down to 50 pics and choose OK. And I'm going to scale that and do a file, export as. All right. And we're going to change this down to 50 and press my enter key and export it, and there we go. Now, you guys, I'm going to close this again. It's going to ask me, do I want to save changes to my XCF file? I do not. I'm going to choose discard any of those changes. I don't want to save that as that small 50 as my actual XCF, my Gimp file. So here we are. Let's go ahead and take a look. I have my Space Shuttle. Let me start it at 50. There it is, at 50 pics. Increase it to 100, and there it is at 150. So let's go ahead, you guys, and take a look at the actual file documents itself. I'm going to go ahead and open up my dimensions here for my resolution. You can see my 50 pics, and we're dealing with our width here, so I just changed the width to 50, and it changed the others as well. It brought that down, but look at my file size. I'm at 8 kilobytes here, and that was back at this size right here, 8 kilobytes. Think of your users. Think of what you're going to be using this for. If I'm using it as a sprite in a game where I'm going to be shooting things out of our space shuttle and trying to shoot the moon, if you will, in my example, then I might get away with this, the small file size. To my users, that is amazing that it's going to take me that much less time to download it. But you know what? If the 50 doesn't work out so well for you, jump it up to the 100. Maybe yours can even go to 70. You guys can play around with these numbers and stuff like that and change it to something that's going to work best for you and your team. But this is what I'm going to look at. So I'm going to need 5 things again when you're ready to submit. The first thing I'm going to ask you to submit is your raw image. I want to see that file in its raw state right there. All right, you'll submit that one. That's going to be a JPEG format. All right, you're also going to be submitting your GIF. Your GIMP, excuse me. That's going to be a, let me go ahead and, can I see, oh, that type, GIMP right there. This is going to be an XCF file. All right, and make sure you submit that. Last but not least, so we got 2 of the 3. I want all of these. These are going to be in the PNGs. Make sure you guys double check these before you submit. Please make sure you're submitting the correct files. So we got 5 of them all together. All right, so with that said, you guys, I hope that explains what I'm going to be looking for the more detailed sprite. Cool, I'm looking forward to some amazing pictures that you guys are going to be editing. If you ever have any questions, please ask.